Welcome back, everybody, to the Vikings franchise here, where we are starting off the preseason, but we have to wrap up a little bit of what's happened right after our draft. And to add a little bit of realism, what I've done, since it's not in the game, is I've basically said that our coordinators were picked up by other teams. Our former offensive coordinator, he went to be a head coach of a college team, as there were some questions about his true talent, since we've had such issues with Saunders that maybe he's not as good, but he's still pretty good, so he's going to go down to college and be a head coach. Our defensive coordinator, he's now a head coach in the NFL. There was a late firing due to some off-the-field issues that happened. So we've brought in new coordinators, those being Victor Price for our offense. He's bringing in a multiple power run, so we're still sticking with a power run scheme, but we're switching it up. Instead of it being a vertical or West Coast, I don't remember exactly what it was before, we're now switching over to a multiple power run, and he will bring in his own playbook, so we're going to have a new playbook this season. Similarly with our defense, we have a new defensive coordinator in Sammy Rios. He's going to bring in a 4-3 quarters style defense. We're sticking with 4-3 because we just went through a draft. The team is set up to run a 4-3. It's too late in an off season to make any adjustments to switch over from a 4-3 to a 3-4. So we will continue to run a 4-3 with Sammy Rios, and he will bring in his own playbook. So those are some new things that have happened in between episodes that we just have to take care of. We have some time to switch things over. We have the whole preseason to go through, install our new playbook, and hopefully that'll help correct some issues that we've had with corners and safeties not playing very good coverage, especially the underneath coverage. On offense, we've had some really poor quarterback play. Every now and then Saunders does really well, but every now and then is really bad. So hopefully with these changes, we can try to correct those, and it adds, just like I said, a bit of realism. And now that we are actually into the preseason, a little time went by, some training went by, the team got to meet the new coordinators, get a little bit friendly with the playbook, learn a little bit about what kind of things are changing. So some other kind of things that have changed is I've adjusted some players' numbers. The first guy I went and changed the number to is John Leach. If you didn't watch the off-season video, I suggest you do. Otherwise, there's going to be a lot of spoilers as to what we did in the off-season. But this is the warning. If you haven't seen it, go watch it now, because now we're about to start spoiling some things. But yeah, in that off-season, during the draft, we wanted to go find a receiver to replace Adam Thielen, as he did retire. You can't really replace Adam Thielen in Minnesota, but we need someone to fill in the role that he was playing in. And we didn't have anyone that was in the draft that we thought could really step up and fill that role. Osborne has played very well for us as a fourth receiver, but I think that's where he fits best, is at that fourth receiver spot. I don't think he would be as effective being out there every single down. Now, in real life, he played fantastic for us this last season. But in Madden, it doesn't translate all too correctly. So John Leach, we ended up trading for, I believe it was a third-round pick and a safety, Jimmy Ward, who we ended up trading. So we picked up John Leach, who was with the Bills. He didn't really play much in the Super Bowl, so we figured that he was kind of buried on the roster, didn't get a lot of play time. They didn't like him all too much. So we traded for him and we picked him up. We changed his number to 13, and his ratings are, pretty good. He has some good short and medium route running, good release, good hands, speed, acceleration, and he's 6'4". So he's going to play at slot for us, and we'll have Jefferson on one side, on the outside, and then Chark on the other. One thing I did do is I moved Alex Brooks from being labeled as a left outside linebacker to right, as that is where he will be a starter. We also updated some of the numbers for the rookies. So Darren Ewing, a linebacker that we had picked up, he's going to wear number 52. At middle linebacker, Matthew Hawkins will wear number 5. And we moved Eldra Hilton over to left outside linebacker, as if Harrison Smith will most likely retire after this season, as he's 35. Eldra Hilton would then step up if we don't end up drafting someone else or signing someone else to be a starter there. So just kind of move some guys around there. Corners, we didn't touch. We do need to sign at least one more corner. We need to sign a couple guys, but didn't do any adjustments there. Harvey Keenan, another guy that we ended up trading for. He was in the first draft that we had in this series, or I guess not the first draft, but it was last year's draft. We really wanted him. We weren't able to get him, but he was buried on the Bengals roster. So we traded. I believe it was one of our fourth round picks in this last draft, plus a future fourth. So we traded those and we got Keenan Harvey. I thought it would have taken more to get him, but the Bengals didn't seem all too interested, so he's going to come over, play free safety, and he's wearing number 2. Over at strong safety, our number 1 pick in the draft, it was 32nd overall in the first round. We picked up Terrell Henley, who will be playing strong safety, and he'll be wearing number 4. And I believe that's about all of the number changes, but we need to find some guys to fill out this roster. We only have 50 guys on roster. We need at least another running back, another corner, and then maybe find some undrafted guys who have some good talent. And for one of our first signings, we have an undrafted rookie here, Eddie Alford, and he's one of the stronger running backs that's available. 79 strength. He has 88 speed, 91 acceleration, 76 trucking, 81 juke, 84 carrying. Break tackle is a bit low, 72, and 79 change of direction. Catching 62. Not really going to expect him to do much of that, but he's 6 foot, 225 pounds out of Kentucky. He seems like a great value version of what we had with Alexander Madison. A bit of balance of speed and power, or more elusiveness and power, not necessarily speed, but 88, solid. He's a young guy. He's 22 years old. Doubt he's going to be seeing much time out on the field if he makes the final roster, but was definitely someone that I would like to add. Now, in terms of someone who would probably get a lot more playing time and would most likely definitely stay on the roster, there is Joshua Kelly. He's 91 speed, 88 acceleration, 82 trucking, and 82 juke moves. Change of direction is an 84, carrying 88, and 77 break tackle. Catching is also a 67. Now, he's not extremely young. He's 26 years old. He played at UCLA. He's 5'11", 212 pounds. A bit of a kind of do-it-all back, which is great to have as a backup. So we will sign him as well. And for our 5th corner spot, I'm going to pick up Aseng Basie here. He has 90 speed, 92 acceleration. He's strictly a zone cover guy, but he's honestly not going to see the field a whole lot. But basically just there for depth. But we'll pick him up. He's 5'9", 190 pounds, so on the smaller side, but he's 26, so he has room to grow. A lot of guys who are available with some decent ratings are 30-plus years old, so we'll bring in a guy who has a little bit of youth to him, could potentially stay with the team if they're able to get good development. Now I'm kind of just going through, finding guys who most likely will end up on some practice squad, but just can give us a little bit more depth around. They're just good young guys that I would like to pick up. So first one is going to be Tyrone Leary. He's 91 speed, 93 acceleration, has some decent hands with 79 catching and 77 spec catch, but he has 91 agility, a 72 release, and 74 short route running, which is pretty good to start off with. He could be a developmental slot kind of guy for us. Maybe he could play a little bit outside. He has really good change of direction, juke move. He has some run after the catch ability. Plus, he's 6 foot, 188 pounds, and 21 years old, so we will definitely be picking him up. Now, we could definitely use some depth at defensive tackle. I'm pretty sure we only have 3 on roster, and 2 will play every down. So we could definitely use some help there. And taking a look around, I'm kind of interested here in Trevor Black. Now, he's not much of a run stopper. He's an interior pass rusher. They have him listed at right end, but we'll see why I say DT for him. But 73 power moves, 77 speed, 81 strength, will possibly go up to 85 if we're able to get that strength unlocked with our new defensive coordinator. But acceleration, 84, tackling's pretty decent. Now he's 22 years old. He's out of Auburn. He's 6'6", 304 pounds, which is the size of a DT in my playbook. So we would move him there. He could possibly go up in overall, but he's young, undrafted rookie, has some potential. We'll pick him up. And I've taken a look around, taken a kind of look at practice squad eligible guys, and this everyone that's available in general. Now, we haven't re-signed Ty Spence, but I think with one of the guys that we drafted, we basically filled his role. In fact, I think the guy that we drafted might even be fighting Smith Marset for his spot on the team as well. So I think that's about done with free agents. We'll take a look after we get through the preseason just to see if maybe there's some guys on the other team's practice squad that we kind of want to poach from them. We'll see, but I think for now we're good here. Now, of course, with our new coordinators, we need to make sure that they're leveled up, and we could see that most of the stuff is all leveled up here with our new offensive coordinator. So we obviously have the ability to equip X Factors. He has both upgrades for fullbacks blocking and for run block finesse, which is a bit unfortunate. It doesn't quite make sense because he's a multiple power run guy, but they have the finesse. I guess kind of having the weak spot get the boost could be nice as well. He does have the upgrade for pass blocking for tight ends. He also has the boost for receivers blocking and the awareness for our offensive line, but we need to get that strength boost, so that would be the first purchase here for him. Now over on the other side, he has the boost here for injury rating, which is really nice. The double boost for catching traffic for receivers instead of tight ends, which sounds good to me. Carrying for fullbacks, which we do a lot of. We don't have the carrying for quarterbacks. We'll see if Saunders has some more fumbles. Boost stamina for receivers and tight ends. Instead, it could have been quarterbacks, running backs, and fullbacks. So I'm already thinking that we need to pull back a little bit on running as much with Saunders. Just do it with Mond because he has issues with stamina and fumbling, and the boosts here aren't helping him. We have one of the boosts here for release for receivers. We'll go ahead and get that second boost to get as much release as we can. And then we have concentration boost catching for halfbacks and fullbacks, or for receivers. We're going to go for receivers. Get that boost. And that is that's everything leveled up here for our new offensive coordinator. As for defense, he doesn't have anything. He's a brand new guy, brought him up from college football. So he's new here, and we need to make sure that we get down to the boosted strength for our defensive line. So we have to choose a side and just get at least the single point into each one, and then we need to get that strength. So obviously we need the X Factor one, but now we need to choose what side we want to go down. Boost tackling for our D-line or for our linebackers. I think linebackers gets the edge there. Block shedding for ends. Block shedding for defensive tackles. Now, I prefer my defensive tackles because they're my run stoppers. So we're kind of even now. Boost pursuit for linebackers or boost pursuit for ends. Again, I would prefer the linebackers because the linemen aren't really going to be pursuing that much. Hit power for linemen or edge. Did I say offensive linemen? I don't know if I did. For the edge rushers, or boost hit power for the defensive tackles. I would prefer it more for the outside, so again, we're kind of even. I think it really comes down to the tackling. You're not going to have a whole lot of tackling with the defensive line. If it is anything, it's going to be sacks, maybe a couple tackles for loss, but I think we're going to go with this left-hand side. So we'll get an upgrade in each one of these, and hopefully we have enough points, I think we will, to get the boost to the strength. Yeah, plenty of points, so this is going to take away about half of our remaining points, but that is a key one you need to get. Now, do we want to go over to this other side? Injury ratings, definitely want to make sure that is up, especially as we have some older guys out there. So we could upgrade 2 more. So we could either fully upgrade 1 on the left or get 2 on the right, or split. We could upgrade some on both sides, but play recognition for corners could be very nice. Yeah, I think we'll go ahead and get... I already chose a side there. I didn't even go through all of them. This side was for your safeties and then some stamina for your linebackers. Tackling for corners doesn't really matter all too much. I would rather have the tackling for safeties, stamina for DBs as they're running around the most. Catching, yeah, so definitely would have rather had this side. So good thing that didn't come back to bite us. And I'm going to boost tackling twice just to make sure we're getting some sure tackles. But that's all the upgrading we can do here for our defense. So now I just need to run through, get the depth chart all organized, and then we could jump in to some of these games. We have 3 games, so I'm thinking probably first quarter of the first game, second quarter of the second game, and then the second half of the third game. We'll get this all done in one episode and in the manner of one full game, basically. And one quick thing before we jump into the games, just showing you who our focus players are. We're going to go with our new rookie safety, Terrell Henley, our rookie guard in Richard Wilds, another rookie receiver in Sherrard Dyson. We also are going to have our receiver that we traded for, John Lynch, as one, as he wasn't getting a lot of play time with the Bills, so we want to make sure we can make up for some lost time with him. Same goes for Harvey Keenan, the safety that we traded for, and then also Alex Brooks. Make sure we're getting as much upgrades for these guys as possible. And I know I said one last update, but here's another one, going through and updating the schemes to match what our defensive coordinators, or not defense, but both of our coordinators were bringing in. So our offensive coordinator brought in a multiple power run. Now we only meet this 46%, but I kind of like what it has. So field general for quarterbacks makes sense. He doesn't have the boost for the quarterbacks running really. So probably not going to see Saunders run as much. Probably going to upgrade him more now as a field general kind of guy. Halfbacks has power. I prefer balance, but that's not really a thing, so that's fine. Fullbacks blocking. We have more utility guys, but I mean, that's fine. Receivers, they have physical now. I like more route runners, but that's fine. Tight ends blocking. I do like tight ends that can block. That's why I like more of the possession guys, because they're kind of a balanced. Now the line is perfect. I like having 4 of them be power guys and then pass blockers at left tackle. That makes perfect sense to me. Defensive-wise, a better fit, 71%, and it's 4-3 quarters or quarters 4-3. They have it different on both sides. But again, very similar to kind of what I'd like. 2 linebackers or pass coverage. 1 is run stopper, perfect. Slot for corners, again, perfect, and then hybrid for safeties. That's fantastic. The only thing I don't like about the 4-3 quarters is that it doesn't have a run stopper for DT. It has power rusher, which we have 2 of 3 that are power rush archetypes, but it has a run stopper at left end, which is typically the one that I like to either be a speed or power rusher. So things are a little bit different. We're not going to have a 100% scheme fit, but things we are definitely going to be moving towards as we look into the future. Now, I do have to upgrade the playbooks, as I know that the teams are bringing in some different playbooks, so I need to make sure we have that correct. So I don't remember exactly what the playbooks were. I'll double check after finishing this recording, as I can't really go back until after I'm done with the recording, but I'll make sure we have the correct one selected for week 1. But I believe it was Pittsburgh offensive playbook, and then it was Philadelphia's defensive playbook. So that's what we've switched it over to. If I'm wrong, you can also let me know down in the comments section, but I believe those are the new playbooks that we will be using as we have brought in new coordinators. So that is all correct, and now I think we're good to go for the first game. Actually, all the games. We'll just slide them all together. And welcome to our first preseason game. We are facing the New York Jets, and we've had a really bad regular season game against them and a really good preseason game against them. See if that continues with good preseason games. We will just be playing the first quarter of this game, and here's a new look at our new playbook. So the question is, they have a big nickel. Do they have a double A gap? They do, and it does look correct. So that will continue for us. Yeah, this is our new defensive playbook, bringing in the Philadelphia playbook with our new defensive coordinator. I'm going to slide over the D-line. Yeah, we will just be playing the first quarter of this game, then the second quarter of the second game, and then the full second half of the last game with all of the backups and get a decent stop there on the first down carry. And I think with our new defensive coordinator, he's bringing in a little bit more of a man-focused coverage. So that's something to look at to try to see if our new cornerback group can bring that man coverage in. Of course, the only returning, let's change this to a double A-gap blitz here. The only returning corner from last year is we get a good stop by rookie safety. That was Terrell Henley on the kind of knockdown, kind of just hit him in the side of the head. But he gets the stop on 3rd and inches, and we will return the punt here, try to get around them. Gets close to the 30, decent starting spot. But yeah, only returning guy from last year on the defensive corner spot was Denzel Ward, so everyone else is new. Dwight Saunders, this is his last year to prove it. Year 3, it's the number he wears on his chest and technically on his back as well. And then this is also our first look at our new playbook as well. It's the Pittsburgh playbook and looks, pretty familiar. Some similar plays, at least formations here. One thing to note, though, is if we don't have that 4 receiver set anymore, that might limit what Osborne's able to do. We're going to come out here first play, go deep here to Chark. We connect with him down to the 40. That was a nice placement on the run by Saunders. Gets it just over the cornerback or maybe safety's head, just where Chark can get it. Hits him on the run. That's what we need to see from him. Because as I was saying, this is year 3. This is his last year to prove to us that he's a guy that we need to keep around. We technically have that 4th year as Dalvin trips on his own lineman, even though there was a big old gap right next to him. Yeah, we need to see that he's a guy we need to build around. We have that 4th year, but if it doesn't work this year, we honestly need to look at potential trades. So we pass out of that sack right into Williams' face. This is basically this is it for Saunders. He needs to prove to us that he can do it. We can't have another year where he has a 1-to-1 touchdown-interception ratio. That's not going to cut it. We're going to go across the middle to Lynch. That ball was a little high, but we do have a pass interference penalty coming. And that's going to fall on Michael Carter II, giving us the ball at the 23. So big year here for Saunders. Also kind of leaves it up in limbo land as to what we're going to do in the draft, where we need to focus some scouting at. We'll find out a little bit more about that in week 1. But a good run down the middle here for Dalvin Cook. And of course, we do have a new starter on the offensive line. As we see over at the right guard. Actually, I need to double check to make sure who's playing where. Because it looks like Castro maybe has a new number than what he was wearing last year. So there's nothing there. We're going to need to throw that one away. But yeah, over at the left guard spot, you can see number 60. That is Wilds. He was the center that we drafted, I want to say, in the 2nd round. He was a center in college. Going to move him to guard for us as we get a few here on the 2nd down carry. So yeah, a little intriguing there. Getting younger on the... That is not the route that I wanted Leach to run. Yeah, getting younger on the offensive line, as we're going to go to the right. Chark, and Saunders missed that pass. He had a wide open receiver and he threw it way too far deep. Chark couldn't even drag feet. Really disappointing on the first drive there. We're going to come out here in a wildcat, a true wildcat, versus what we were doing last year with Mond. We're going to have Nwangwu at the quarterback, fake the handoff, go to the left-hand side, perfect blocking, and we are in. First points of the preseason goes to Nwangwu. With that quick drive for our offense, we'll get at least 2 possessions with our starting defense to see how they do. Like I said, the only returning corner for us is Denzel Ward. We picked up 4 new corners. The number 2 is going to be Bradbury, who's had a pretty successful career. Really turned it on in the latter part of his career, I would say. But yeah, a solid number 2 for us. We also have a couple of guys who will play in the slot. Then you'll see one of them shortly. One of those slot guys is going to be Reed Jr. He's typically a guy that always ends up on one of my Madden teams. Whether he's actually playing or not kind of varies. Harrison Smith gets the tip, and Reed Jr. actually gets the pick. Speak of him, and he'll show up. Might need to update the uniform a little bit, give him some tighter sleeves. And, I don't know, the long sleeves with, like, the medium length of the long undersleeves and the medium length of the actual sleeve seems a little strange to me. But, hey, if it gets some picks, then I'm fine with it. And one thing I always like to do after a turnover is to go deep. We have Chark with really good release and speed. With the plus 17, I'm assuming they're going to be sending a blitz with that corner. So I'm just going to slide the offensive line to that side, which it looks like they are. And Saunders fumbles. Not a good start for him. Jets going to get the ball right back. Of course, our new offensive coordinator doesn't have the carrying boost for quarterbacks, and we're already seeing fumbles here. Of course, wasn't great blocking up front for Saunders either. Well, big play for us, and then a big play for the Jets back-to-back. 2 turnovers and back-to-back plays, one for each team. They get some decent blocking up front. They're fighting for it. Is that Ronald Jones Jr.? Ronald Jones II. I always forget if he's what his suffix, is that what the term is for it? Yeah, I always forget if he's a junior, second, 27th. There's always a bunch of different ones nowadays. They're going to check down here. Denzel Ward gets the tackle on 19. Going to be a gain of maybe 2 or 3. The fun part is, as we get further into this series, going to see a lot more new names. A lot of guys who were drafted in this universe and are only in this universe. Big hit from Harrison Smith, but former Viking Conklin bounces, spins right off of it. He's going to make it a 3rd and short, 3rd and 2. Going to bring Henley down. He has a little bit of some hit power. Get him into the backfield, and he gets the tackle. That's going to be an injury for Vera Tucker. I want to say it's a former USC guy that went to the Raiders, right? Maybe I'm mistaken. Looks like some injury to do with his hand, wrist, maybe forearm. Hopefully nothing too serious, as it is just preseason. Hate seeing preseason injuries that linger off into the regular season. Well, the first points on the board here for the Jets. Field goal good. Going to make it 7-3. That is Lutz on the kick. And the offense takes the field one last time. Only 36 seconds left. We have a 3 receiver 2 tight end formation. That's an interesting one. Interesting, that was actually a comeback. Did not expect that. Gonna run a little bit of hurry up here. I would like to get some points on the board before the clock strikes 0. Yeah. I didn't see the safety lingering over there. Might have been even a corner, but didn't see him over there till after I hit the button. Lucas doesn't have enough speed. It's going to be another turnover there for Saunders. I'll blame myself for that one, though. And with just 11 seconds left in this game, we're going to go ahead and skip forward to the end of the game, as we're just playing the first quarter in this one, play the second quarter in the next, and then the last 2 quarters in the third game. So far, doing well. 21-3. Going to make that 21-10. 28-10. 35-10. Offense looking good here. Defense looking pretty good as well. Jets get another touchdown on the board. 35-17. And as the clock strikes 0 here, we get the victory. We'll see a little bit about who did what at the end of preseason. We'll see all the stats around, but there's the first victory. We'll jump in here to the second quarter of the second preseason game, this time against Miami at home. We're currently up 7-3. And most of the starters are still in with a few changes, as Keenan will come down here and get the tackle on 84. Couldn't see exactly who that is. But on defense, most of the same starters are in. The only difference is that I've subbed out Harrison Smith for Alex Brooks in the nickel package. We get a few whiffs. Finally get a tackle there from Kendricks. But that will be a first down for the Miami Dolphins. They're at the 47. I'm going to send a tight end in motion. Going to overload that right-hand side. Going to cut back to that left. Good running lane for number 13 there. That's Edmonds. Going to get about 8 yards. And for the running game, we're really going to need some of our guys in the middle to step up here. Not sure why it has Coward, and I really hope Graves did not get injured, because if he did, that is going to be unfortunate. Same as Waddle going for a touchdown. Speaking of Dolphins, big moves in the offseason so far for them, real life offseason, is they're going to get 10 points on this board here. And in some sad news, Nicholas Graves is injured, quadriceps strain, so they have him out for game. Might end up keeping him out of that next preseason game as well, just to make sure he's healthy for the start of the regular season. Can't really be missing him. We don't have much depth, or quality depth at DT. Worst case scenario, we end up having to move J.J. Watt to DT, and Calhoun gets a start on the outside. So we'll kind of see what ends up happening, but doesn't look like it's going to be too long of an injury for Graves, at least. Knock on wood. As for our offense, we have switched around a little bit here. We have Nwangwu out as the running back. Dyson, our rookie receiver, will be out at the outside receiver. Osborne at the slot. And Leach will play a little bit of outside receiver in this game. Just kind of see who does what. As we're going to go deep here to Leach. Nice lead pass. He's down the sideline. He has some speed. Can he break away? Yes, he can. All the way down the end zone, leaving 3 Dolphins in his dust. First big play we've seen from a guy who we traded for and traded a fair bit for, a 3rd-round pick, and one of our former starting safeties in Jimmy Ward. He catches it on the run, gets down the sideline, and he's going to celebrate. And seeing the versatility there from Leach, being able to play both in the slot and outside will really help us in trying to make sure that we fill the role that Adam Thielen left behind as we miss our first sack opportunity. That ball just pops right up to Eric Hendricks. He tries to get around the outside, but we got the pick. Going to give the offense fantastic field position at the 25. Should be an easy score, give us a great opportunity here. Great job of the defense. That was J.J. Watt who was in to get the pressure on Tua there. And what I've noticed so far in our new offensive playbook is that there's really not a whole lot of fullback usage, as we're going to hand the ball off to Nwangwu down the middle. He's going to get a gain of 5. But that drop in fullback play is very fitting, as again we no longer have C.J. Ham on roster. He was 30-something years old, so we moved him on for Thurston, as we're going to get sacked. Phillips around the edge, going to bring up a 3rd and 15. Was not good blocking there. Instead, we'll try something here. Going to have Leach run a slant and see if we can get Osborne straight to that pylon. And it doesn't look like we're going to get anything there. Not much else either. Phillips there to tackle us again after we get about a gain of 5 with Saunders. Going to bring up a 4th and 9. Went from having a fantastic opportunity from our defense to possibly spoiling it. Let's see if we could get something here, though. Can Darisaw catch it? I think he did. Big boy bringing it in down to the 3. Nice job. Nice job. That was in some tight coverage, too. He must have been working out with the receivers a little bit. And that provides us with some fantastic opportunity here. We see number 42 in at the left side of the line. That is Starks, who was in our last draft class. Not the one that we just had, but the one previous. And he doesn't do a bad job there, but not a good job blocking with it. Wilkinson down the middle, just right through, gets a tackle in the backfield. And last year, we brought Munden quite a few times in the later half, or the second half of the season, to run some form of a wildcat for us. He's going to do that here in this new playbook, but doesn't look like he has much in terms of passing options. So he's just going to be either running or handing it off, and we try to get Dyson around the edge there. He gets a gain of a couple, but not a whole lot. So you can see our last draft update here. 2 USC guys early on. Very similar to our second series that we have going, the Stanford, California college rebuild. So really fun there. If you guys haven't checked that out, I suggest you do. But if you haven't, just a brief synopsis. In that series, we had a fantasy draft in the NFL, in Madden here, of only guys who played at college at some college team in California. So it's a California-only rebuild, meaning California State-only rebuild, as we're not able to find anything on that last play. And why not? Let's try something again. It's preseason. I'm going to flip it out here, and I didn't know what the buttons were. We had wide open guys. I assumed one of them would be B, and there was no B, so we don't end up getting anything there. Going to spoil some really good field position and a great play by our defense, but it's preseason. We could make some mistakes, have fun with it. Q, unfortunately, he takes the hit. Defense will come back out with the Dolphins starting at the 16, so quite a lot of time, or quite a lot of yards to go. Not a whole lot of time, a little bit under the 2-minute warning, as that one is tossed out of bounds. And of course, our defense in this new scheme going to be running a bit more man coverage. We have some decent to good man covered guys. Unfortunately, not too good there with Bradbury. Got beat by Waddle, but Waddle has some tremendous speed. Gets around the old vet there. And another hit going to force an incompletion. That was Daniil Hunter that time. On 2nd and 10. We have man blitz here. We got Kendricks on Gesicki. Wanted to slide over the D-line, but they snapped the ball too soon. And luckily they went underneath Tate, because they would have had a wide open Gesicki. We're going to go for an empty set here. Try to make a few adjustments of our own. And they go straight to the outside. Reed Jr. just a little bit slow to react, and that's going to be a completion and a first down. And now sitting at exactly 1 minute left in the second quarter here. Dolphins only down 4 points. They got time. And almost had the pick there with Denzel Ward. He at least forces the incompletion. You also notice a little bit of forced animations as well happening in this preseason, where it's kind of throwing me into certain coverages. Reed Jr., though, second pick of the game. Can he get around the edge? That was a very fast guy, tried to juke around him. Not able to. Edmondson gets the tackle. Offense will take over at the 44 with 49 seconds left in this first half. And for me personally, the rest of the game. I will say one thing. I have been impressed so far by the play of Reed Jr. I've had him in many rebuilds that I've done on Madden, and that hit's going to force an awful pass, which is really unfortunate because we had our young receiver Dyson open across the back, and we have enough arm strength to get it where it needed to go. But when he went to release it, you saw the hit there, kind of disrupted the path of the ball, and it ends up going straight to number 24 with the pick. So no more points will be scored for our offense. Maybe our defense can get a score of their own, though. Dolphins take the field, 38 seconds left. They're down 4 points. They're going to check underneath to Edmonds, who's going to get a few. However, there is an injury. That's going to be an offensive lineman for Miami, Jay James, taking a knee down on the field. And doesn't look good. He's heading into the locker room. Could just be because 33 seconds left before half, but typically in Madden, that's not a good sign. Hopefully nothing too long-term. Really hate preseason injuries taking guys out for really any amount of time. But good press coverage there. I'll give Bradbury that. Not a good tackle, but, I mean, his press coverage kind of stopped him. Caught that at maybe the line of scrimmage. Maybe even in the backfield. Not exactly sure. They're going to check underneath here to Gesicki. And we're going to get the tackle with Eric Kendricks. 20 seconds ticking down. Now under 10 seconds with the runoff. They're going to go to the outside. Make sure we get the tackle. Yep. I wasn't sure if they had a timeout. They didn't. And that was Beckham Jr., OBJ, over in Miami in this universe. But that's it for us in this game. We'll sim to the end, see what our score is, and move on to the final game where we'll see a lot of our backups and a lot of our draft picks as well. And not a whole lot happened for either team in that second half. I think we put one more touchdown up on the board. I think Miami got an extra field goal or something. Yeah, 21-13 is the final. We'll see all of everyone's stats after we get through the full preseason. But we need to get on to that final game where we're going to see a lot of our backups and see how well they've played. So far, really impressed with Reed Jr., our new slot corner. Been a lot more impressive than I've seen any of our slot corners. Not trying to be harsh on Dantzler, just 2 turnovers in one game, tight coverage. We didn't always see that as much with Dancer, although he did have some good plays and helped us win 2 Super Bowl championships, so we'll spread the love around a bit. And we are into the second half of the final game against the Washington football team in Real Life Commanders. We are both 2-0 in the preseason, and we're up 21-14. However, Washington starts off with the ball. You're going to see a lot of new guys. Alton Robinson, who we signed. Black, who we signed. Cowart was a signing last year. Has been a depth guy for us for the last, I guess now would be his second year. Bynum is also out there getting a little bit of play time. Haven't seen him play too much. At right end is Calhoun. Will Harris will get some safety play as well. As good blocking, but not good running. Trips on a blade of grass. They're going to credit that, I guess, to Hawkins, who was our technically our 3rd pick, but was in the 4th round. Yeah, Eldra Hilton will be at linebacker, Hawkins and Ewing, both of which were draft picks in this last draft. And they're both going to get the tackle there. Jones, the 4th, will be one of the outside receivers, or not receivers, corners, as well as Bassey, who we signed at the beginning of, I believe it was this video, as Hawkins gets the tackle there. Going to still be a gain of 8 on that handoff. Yeah, and then the other safety, so not the other safety, we already got all the, I think that was about it, about everybody. So we'll see quite a few new guys here. Most of these players haven't been on the team for either a season or for more than 1 season. I think the only one is Bynum, who's been with the team since the beginning. Just hasn't really progressed much to possibly take a starting role or even just a role in general on the team, as Washington is driving here down to the 34 with another first. It would be good to see some of these guys make some plays. Ewing, one of the linebackers that we picked, he's strictly a run stopper for us, and we'll send him on the blitz. And he forces a fumble. Cowart's going to pick it up. Picks it up at the 45. Does he have enough stamina and speed? I'm going to say no. He's going to get quickly caught from behind, but our offense will take over at the 17. A big play from a rookie linebacker. We saw that time and time again last season with Eldra Hilton and Alex Brooks. Now Ewing's coming in, puts in a big hit. Kind of looks like the quarterback just tossed it away before he even got hit. But either way, big play from a rookie linebacker. Now coming out for the offense, Mund at quarterback, Kelly at running back, who we signed earlier in this video. Leary, another guy who we signed earlier, he'll be at the slot receiver spot here. Dyson will play a bit on the outside. He's actually where we're going to go here on the first down pass, and they say he's in. Rookie touchdown. Dyson stretches across the line, and he's in barely, but he is in. Gets the slow clap. Going to give us a bigger lead, 28 to, honestly, 14. I think 14 is how many points they have. I was close to maybe not getting in, but a really good pass there from Mund. It was a very accurate, well-placed ball, which is always nice to see. Some big plays so far from some of our rookies. Love to see it. I mean, that's really what preseason is all about. Finding what rookies are going to make the plays and finding what kind of hidden guys there are out there. However, McLaurin, not a very hidden guy. He gets a big gain on the first down play. Josh Rosen, the quarterback for Washington here. You know, the last time we sent a blitz, it worked pretty well for us. We'll come back at it once again here. Going to use Ewing as well. They're going to go to that left-hand side. The guard, maybe even tackle, gets there at the perfect time, gets the block. However, we hold him to just a gain of 3. Thought it could have been a loss of 3, but we'll take a decent stop there. We're going to check down to the running back, and looks like that's going to be forced incomplete. Hilton with the hit, and I want to say it was Gibson who ends up dropping the pass. So good plays for some younger guys. Going to come out here in some man coverage. It's just a step behind there from Hawkins. Going to get completion to a pretty big looking tight end, at least compared to Hawkins. Now Hawkins is a very similar type of linebacker to I would say Alex Brooks, just not quite on the same level yet. But he's a very athletic guy. Needs some progression in terms of some every down linebacker skills, so needs to improve some of his block shedding and coverage ability. But raw talent is definitely there, so he could see some time out on the field, maybe mostly special teams, but he'll see a little bit of time. Following that first down, they come out in a heavy set, 3 tight ends to the right. They're going to run to the left. They ran this play a couple times earlier, and it's worked out pretty well for them about every time. Bynum gets the touchdown-saving tackle there. Still, though, first down to the 13. Washington looking pretty good if they could avoid those mistakes. Now that we're down inside the 15, I'm going to come out here with a double A-gap blitz. Try to see if we could get off the edge or anything. No, nice pickup across the board. Reed Jr. able to get the stop just in front of the goal line. Would have liked to see an incomplete pass for us there, but at least it's not a touchdown quite yet. They're going to go to the outside. We're going to run out there. Big hit there from Bynum. Forces Gibson down after he hurdled the down player. And we're going to head on into the fourth quarter. Still up 28-14. Following the loss on that first down pitch, they're going to come out in a 3-receiver set. We're going to bring a man blitz. They're setting up the screen, but we get there in time, and Calhoun is back there for a sack. Didn't give Rosen enough time, and he's going to get a stat of his own. Oh, just kidding. It is not Rosen anymore. It's now Brissett. Looks like the Washington football team kept their starters in until about the third quarter. And we get another pick with one of our new corners. That's Bassey this time. Maybe Bassey. I don't know exactly. We're going to call him Bassey just because it sounds a little bit more interesting. But he gets the pick and is going to save any points from getting put on the board, at least for the Washington team. Well, we had a one-play touchdown last time. Would like to see this team out there a little bit more. We have Lucas out at tight end, Smith-Marset at receiver as well. Not quite sure why Nwangwu was out there. Could have sworn I substituted them all out. Going to toss this up for Smith-Marset, and he comes down with it. He needs to make some plays because right now Dyson is challenging him for his really only role on the team. Because honestly, both Dyson and Smith-Marset are basically the same player. So like same size, speed, downfield, receiver. However, Dyson has a lot more speed. And we're going to try to utilize that here. And we hit home. Great pass there from Munn. Looking like his accuracy is getting a bit better. He places that exactly where I wanted him to. So great play there. Two plays. Technically, you could say 3 drives, or 3 plays, 2 drives. We had a 1-play drive, now a 2-play drive, both of which ended in touchdown. Big plays from the offense, big plays from the defense, and with them all being from young guys, really nice to see as well. They go deep here. This time, Reed Jr. gets beat, but he at least is back there to get the tackle. However, 39 yards, number 85 here. Good pass also from Brissett. That's going to happen time and time again, but every now and then you'll have a cornerback who gets beat. We've seen Denzel Ward get beat, even though he's our best. Unfortunately there, Reed not able to whip his head around. He could have had another pick there, but incompletion, we're good with that. And for some reason, it has Keenan in at linebacker, so it definitely messed with my the guys that I had out there. So let's try to get that corrected real quick. All right, depth chart fixed. Now we have the correct guys out there, keeping our starters off the field. Let's see what they do here. Blown coverage. Easy touchdown. There should have been a deep safety there. Maybe even corner. I'm not sure which side had what, but either way, someone had a blown coverage. You see here, I think that might have been on Reed Jr. I think he was supposed to have the deep coverage, and he didn't get deep enough. So we've seen some good from him. We've seen a little bit of bad from him. And we've seen a lot from the passing game. I would like to see a little bit from some of our new running backs. So switch it up a little bit, chew some clock, try to see what Kelly can do. Good first carry, follows what blocks he had up in front, and he gets the gain. This playbook, it's the Pittsburgh offense. They don't have a whole lot of fullback formation, so definitely won't be needing both of Thurston and Devlin. We'll probably be sending Devlin to the practice squad. But in the meantime, he'll get some time out here, see what he can do. This scheme really just calls for having a good throw there from Mund, that's for sure. On the run, gets it beneath the safety and over the top of the linebacker. Good completion there to Lucas. Yeah, the playbook doesn't call for a whole lot of utility fullback, which unfortunately is what both of our fullbacks are. As we're going ahead inside the 2-minute warning here, we're up two scores, 2 minutes left. Sounds all good to me. We'll run a bit of some play action rollout here. We have an open receiver at the sideline, and that was almost picked. Luckily falls out of bounds. We're going to stay out here in our heavy set. Would like to swing Devlin out a little bit, just to give him some time to find a block. And he does. Gonna break some tackles, fight forward. Kelly gets close to a first down. A great run there on 3rd and long. They call a timeout, so I'm assuming 4th and inches. But you know what they say about assuming. We actually get the first down. Going to bring out Alford here, which was an undrafted rookie running back. He's going to follow his blocks right down the middle, get a gain of a couple, and another timeout there for Washington. On 2nd and 7, going to call a toss play. Again, would like to get Devlin out in front a little bit more. See if he can get the blocks. He does not. Don't get the block I really wanted from DeCastro. He goes for a guy on the inside versus the first guy that arrived. So don't get as much as we could have, but still get a decent amount there. And can I send Starks all the way across here? Let's do that. That's going to put the strong side over on the left. However, we're running to the right behind the fullback, and Alford fights forward for the first down. Just want to see what he's capable of doing. Can he run through some guys? Does he fight for yards? That's what we need to know. We already know Kelly's going to make the squad just because we only have 4 running backs, and he's about the same rating as Nwangwu, but brings a little bit more power. But do we make space for Alford? We've had issues in the past where running backs have gotten injured. Kind of gets stuck in an animation there. Won't blame that one too much on him. We'll keep running down the middle here with Alford, see what he can do. As there is possibly spot available for him down the middle, fights off of one guy, and he's into the end zone. That's the effort we need to see from him. If we find a spot for him on the team, it could be very fitting. He has a blend of speed, blend of power. It's the kind of running back we're looking for here. He could be a good fit. He definitely needs to improve. He's a rookie, undrafted rookie, but that was a nice play for sure. And the defense will take the field with only 18 seconds left in this game. We'll see what Washington's able to do with the little time they have remaining. They go across the middle, get a completion about 45. Yeah, they say at the 45. We're just running some man coverage. However, no timeouts remaining for them. So this game is over. We win all 3 preseason games. This one 42-21. And with that last game all wrapped up, I could definitely say I think this team is in a good spot to start our regular season in week 1 against the Cardinals. However, one last thing we have to do before we can get there is cut 2 players, which really just means sending them to the practice squad for us. But yeah, one thing I see that we could do is send Chris Devlin to the practice squad. I really don't see a need for us to have 2 fullbacks with this new playbook, the new scheme. It really is just not necessary, so that's definitely one thing that we can do. However, they do have some recommended, and I also agree Damon Carey can probably either just be cut or moved to practice squad. There are a couple other low overall guys that we can do as well. But for now, we'll start off with sending Damon Carey to the practice squad, and I think we'll do the fullback as well. And those might not all be the final adjustments we have to the roster. There could be some adjustments come week 1 where every team has their practice squad set up. And if there's some good guys that are on some other team's practice squad that we could use on our actual every game roster, then we might bring some of those guys in and move some of the other guys to some practice squad roles and cut whatever random guys that the CPU puts on the practice squad. But for now, I think we are good. We are set for preseason. We're set for regular season. We're a wrap for preseason. 3-0. Had tremendous play just across the board. But there's a lot that happened behind the scenes as well in terms of stats for the game. So we'll run through these real quick. And we see 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions for Saunders, 67% completion, only 4 sacks, which not great considering it wasn't even full 3 games. But that is at least a 2-to-1 interception ratio, which is better than we've seen from him ever. Mund, however, 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, so really seeing him progress here. Fortunately, the ratings aren't quite there to say he should be a starter, but he could definitely come in every now and then, as we had to do last year, especially if Saunders just really ends up tanking this season, and honestly, it all kind of depends on what Saunders ends up doing. He will be the starter. Dalvin Cook averaged 4.8 yards a carry, had a touchdown, 106 yards on 22 rushes. And Mwangbu, 87 yards, 3 touchdowns on 32 carries. So not a good average, but he had the most amount of carries, second amount of yards. Yeah. Joshua Kelly, 3.5 yards. I mean, pretty good for a power back. You're looking for about 3 to 4 yards, so he's the average of that. Eddie Alford, 5.4 yards a carry. Now, these are only carries in that very end of the last game that you saw. Saunders had about 5 yards a carry on 4 carries, so 20 yards. Mund only, surprisingly, had 1 yard a carry, which is interesting there. Receiving-wise, Sherrard Dyson leads the team in yards, 159 on 4 touchdowns, only 9 receptions. So really good there. DJ Chark, pretty similar, 10 receptions for 155 yards and 1 touchdown. Leach goes for about 100 and a touchdown. Jefferson a little under 100 and a touchdown. Lucas pretty good as well. Amir Smith-Marset, I think, has lost his spot to Dyson. So Dyson will probably get the spot just above Smith-Marset. So you're looking at 5 and 6. So Amir Smith-Marset might not stay on the team for much longer. He is in a contract year. We'll probably end up letting him go after this season. KJ gets 36. We know what he could do, so he didn't get a whole lot of play time out there. And Leary, who we brought on late, he ended up not getting any targets, any catches. So he played 1 down, though. So at least that's what it says, even though he definitely should have played more than 1 down. Blocking-wise, who gave up the sacks? O'Neal gave up 2, Clayton gave up 2, and then 1 for Darisaw, Dalton Smith, and Richard Wilds. On defense, we were led by Eric Kendricks in tackles. For tackles for loss, we had 2 for Brian Cowart, Daniil Hunter, and Nicholas Graves, and then 1 for a few other guys. If you want to slow that down and see who got what, you definitely can. Sacks, 2 for Eldra Hilton, and then 1 for Cowart, Keenan, Calhoun, Ewing, and Michael Pierce. And, of course, on that Ewing sack, we know that was a sack fumble. Interceptions, 3 for DJ Reed Jr., so we got another one during the sim at some point, I think. Eric Kendricks has 1, Bynum has 1, Will Harris has 1, and Bassey. Still don't know which one it's supposed to be. I should probably look that up. But he has 1 as well. 0 for 3 on field goals. That's not a good sign for Young Hoku. Because I saw some guys that were young kickers who I wanted to bring on. I'm like, nah, we have Koo. If he's missing into the preseason or into the regular season consistently, we might look to move on. But he's played pretty well for us in the past, so we'll give him the benefit of the doubt for right now. But that is all we have here for the preseason. So for the regular season, you're going to need to stick around. So make sure you're hitting that subscription button below. Tick that bell notification to be notified of when these go live. Or you can follow me on Twitter, BigBearB_gaming. I always tweet out whenever these are up. So you could check it out there if you don't want to hit the notification button. But yeah, a lot of exciting things to come here. Week 1 will be obviously the first game. We'll also check out some of the practice squads, see if there's some hidden gems in there as well. But yeah, until next time, I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you later. Bye.